What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is Nullus. Nullus, the king. The map is competitive, mega, random. As we do find the water buffalo over here for Rapl. He's going to be able to move over there. No problems, enjoying his game here. This is the group stages of the Champions League here. And a very, very spicy matchup to be had in this tournament here. Rapl playing as Odin against Nullus's Hades here. Lots of spice to be had in this matchup. We've seen a couple of games in this matchup already kind of at the top level and also at the mid level, or even just like the step down from that top level as well in Challengers League already. I'm excited to see this one. Why? Why am I excited to see this one? Well, one, Nullus has been having a lot of success in this matchup, which I feel like has been unfounded. Like, Nullus has been winning in positions he really shouldn't have been winning. And right now, Nullus is playing against Rapl. And I believe that Rapl here is arguably the most strategic Odin player out of all of the Odin players currently playing. Now, that's not to say that he is necessarily the best or not the best, or I'm not saying anything in that category. I'm just saying in terms of strategy, if I was to give stars to players, and out of all of the Odin players, Rapl would have the most stars in the strategy column. Why? Because he does things which other Odin players don't. He prioritizes certain timings in the game, certain unit compositions in the game, all of this stuff, certain strategies, all of this stuff he goes for much more cleaner than the vast majority of Norse players. So I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with against Hades, and especially Nullus's Hades in this game, in this matchup, on this map, with what looks to be a very small amount of hunt. Now, I can almost guarantee you that I can guarantee you that there's going to be another spawn of hunt here somewhere on the map. Rapl will have the enjoyment of a couple more water buffalo than Nullus, but I can guarantee you there's going to be another spawn of hunt somewhere here on this map. And am I wrong about that? Wait. Oh, there was 3 water buffalo here. I thought there was only 2. Never mind. There's 3 water buffalo here, so there is no other spawn of hunt. We're struggling today. Today's been a difficult day, but that's fine. So, it's a very, very small amount of hunt on this competitive Mega Random map with only 1,200 food. The minimum amount of hunt on competitive Mega Random is 1,000 food. So this is it's probably around about a 1 in 7 chance that we see these very, very low hunt maps occur. So it might be actually less than that. I'm not sure how the math works. I'm not sure how it works, but I think it's a 1 in 7 or something. Anyways, Rapl here is going to have his game cut out for him. He's going to have to really be thinking strategically here to try and find a win in this matchup. Given the low amount of food here, he really doesn't have that many pigs either, so neither does Nullus. Nullus only with the 8 pigs, so and Rapl with only 6, or that seems about right. 6 pigs here. This means, there's the 8 as well. So both players have got 8 pigs. So Rapl here gonna have to think about different strategies here to deal with this, because this is a very, very unique map. Generally speaking, this sort of map only happens in the normal pool on Oasis with like 2 zebra and 2 giraffe, and then you also have a ton of goats remaining on that map. So Rapl both here has got no food, and he's got no ability to play like an Oasis style game. So he's going to have to figure out what he wants to do here. I imagine we're going to see a fast second town center from both players. We see that's coming up for Nullus very, very solidly here. He's got his double storehouse up to play around. Forest fire, he's getting his wood income. He's getting his gold income over here. The Raven's searching around as the water buffalo are about to finish up, and Nullus can very coolly, calmly, collectedly move back onto these berry bushes here with a very small movement. It's a very, very nice map here for Nullus. And the big question is going to be, what sort of play here is Rapl going to do? Now, we have seen kind of openings on this map by players like Soup, where he goes for incredibly fast second town centers. Mostly here, we do see the Ajax coming over here. So Rapl will need to defend against this as he shanks that Ajax back. As the Valkyrie are going to be moving across the map, trying to find some value inside of Nullus's base here. So we do see the Ajax going to continue to come back over here as Rapl sends his Hersir up onto this position here. We do see a relic has been picked up. The Ankh of Ra, a very, very nice relic here as Nullus is still getting targeted down on that Ajax here as the Hersir come through. We haven't seen the town center dropped just yet as Rapl needs a little bit more food to come through here. As the Ajax will get whacked down by these two Hersir. Meanwhile, Town Center coming up for Nullus on this position. The Valkyrie going to push through here, looking for some value in the main base of Nullus. As the Chiron is already over here, basically going to force Rapl back home. Rapl going to be throwing down a house. He now has the resources to drop his own Town Center, but he does need some more houses to come up. As the Ajax does get pushed back, the Hersir here going to be retreating back to the main base, dropping that temple, that relic into the temple. So now the town center is going to come up here. And the one thing that does make this a little bit scary from the Norse side of things is that if Nullus pushes forward with that Chiron and that Ajax, it can put a lot of pressure onto this settlement and cause a lot of delays here on this settlement. So it might be worth it for Rapl to actually drop a longhouse here as well to get this town center up. Now, the next question here for Rapl, as Nullus's game plan is very simple. He's going to need to... Basically, all Nullus wants to do in this map is secure a next gold mine, get his farm set up, and just basically play defensive mode until he gets to that late game power spike, a late game dream in this game. And that's all he can do here. He doesn't really have many other options. And it's a perfect position for haters against Odin. In all honesty, this is exactly what Nullus is going to be wanting in this matchup. As Rapl going to be retreating his Valkyrie back home, we will see that town center just about finishing up here for Rapl. It's not that far behind the Nullus town center. Nullus is a couple of villages in front, but Rapl here is going to be having the win of getting this town center up without having to spend all too many resources. As we do see the forest fire getting dropped down onto this position there, opening up the gold mine. And everything else that happens there. So we do now see some longhouses coming down. 3 longhouses actually coming down for Rapl. That's an interesting decision. I would have expected to see some sort of a fast heroic behind all of this. But dropping the longhouses down means Rapl wants to spend some time in the classical age here, putting pressure onto his opponent. Now, whether or not he's actually going to be able to do that or not remains to be seen, as he does find a fairly important pig here to help delay any sort of farm transition, as Nullus has also put this pig off into the random corner over there as Dwarves now starting to move on to forward gold mines. Meanwhile, in the main base of Nullus, just throwing down his farms nice and early. He's eating all of his pigs. On a map like this, I really don't like this. Generally speaking, it's not the worst thing in the world. You're losing around about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 food every 2-ish seconds. You're losing about 7 food here by doing this. Whereas if you just have 1 pig killed at a time, it's much... You're going to be able to save much more food. Plus, all those pigs gain food the longer they live. So it's actually a really bad play by Nullus. It's going to be hurting him quite a bit, making his farm transition have to happen even earlier here. As you see medium cavalry coming through for Rapl, as he's going to be wanting to start making those raiding cavalry, moving across the map, trying to put some pressure onto Nullus here. But Nullus, he's in good position here. He's got his military academy queued up. He's got his minotaurs over here as well. As the raiding cavalry going to come through here, that villager is simply just going to be able to retreat through the wooden wall there. As the raiding cavalry going to be having to leave this position here, as Rapl here to take this out. He's going to need a handful of Hersir to kill off that Minotaur and a handful of raiding cavalry to take down that Chiron there, as you do see walls coming up to defend the gold mine over here. This is really, really important here. And I love that Rapl is doing it. We don't see this very often by Norse players, but just one unit here, one Holfsark to put walls across the map nice and early in the boom wall. A beautiful decision, and it's going to help him out a ton in the later stages of the game. Meanwhile, we do see military academy archery range coming down for Nullus as the farms starting to come up in the main base. He's just about out of pigs here as the Ajax does get caught out of position. Nice micro there by Rapl to pull the Ajax ever so slightly, as we do see the Minotaur coming through, but Nullus does get that special attack off, as Rapl, not paying attention, going to be losing one of his raiding cavalry there for, not necessarily for free. Damage did get down onto the Ajax, but he definitely did not need to be losing that one there. There's more raiding cavalry coming through here. Rapl is going to be starting his own farm transition now, as he's got plenty of villagers onto the wood line here. He's also making dwarves onto this wood line, which is obviously going to help him with the food income. And also he's going to be able to move those dwarves over onto gold a little bit later once he doesn't need that wood income anymore for farms. So an interesting decision. I'm not exactly sure what's the best play there. Probably making villagers and just putting them onto farms as you get the wood makes most sense to me. But with the low amount of food here, it's going to be helping out quite a bit, as we are still seeing Rapl trying to snipe some units here. He's almost lost that raiding cavalry. It looks like it. Oh, it does get sniped there by the Sentinel from afar, as the Raiders are going to be pulling back home. We do see that Rapl getting a little bit antsy here with his own villagers moving forward to grab these 4 berry bushes. There seems like 4 berry bushes have spawned all over the map here. So Rapl trying to take advantage of the map control that he's got as much as he possibly can, as the units now for Nullus starting to move across the map. With the hoplites being trained here, Rapl might want to start making himself some throw and axemen, as a stray Toxotes does end up getting sniped there, but the low HP Valkyrie does end up getting picked off as well. So raiding cavalry just playing the distraction game for the time being. Farms up now for Rapl. He's got the 10 farms on that town center. Meanwhile, Nullus, on the other hand, 10 farms over here, plus 11 over here is equaling 21. So he's very well set up in terms of the farm transition. Rapl, on the other hand, has got a significant population advantage. He doesn't have forest fire remaining here, so his mass raiding cavalry army might be a difficult one here to make it work here, as he does run head first into Nullus's army there. But we'll see how it's going to go, as Rapl going to be spreading out his raiding cavalry, looking for straggler units moving across the map here. Nullus here has actually cut archery range units for a little bit here. He's cut the Toxotes, just making those hoplites out at the moment to try and deal with the raiding cavalry mass that Rapl is making here. As Rapl still searching around for those straggler Toxotes, but they aren't coming anymore, as Nullus is ready to just pump nothing but hoplites here. Is the raiding cavalry coming in, going to attempt to hit the gold villagers over here, but they immediately start turning around onto this position, as the raiding cavalry getting caught out ever so slightly here. A little bit of a ghost building getting dropped down to get a little bit more damage done onto the raiding cavalry, as Rapl does lose another raiding cavalry. But the thing is here, doesn't really matter. At this moment, Rapl is distracting quite nicely, but he's not really going for anything behind the distraction. He has cut units, which I absolutely love. Always want to cut units when you're getting close to population, so that you can continue to build villages. Nullus here is at 65 villages. Rapl's at 55 villages. It's kind of pretty close considering how many dwarves that Rapl has made. Rapl's now put all of his dwarves onto gold, and he's going to be shooting for that next age, getting himself that plow. A little bit late on the plow, but no worries there, as Nullus at this point, he's got all of his upgrades. He's also got this relic that we missed before, which is a Black Lotus. That relic is gigantic here. We missed that one. That is such a big relic. It's going to be helping Nullus push forward in this matchup ridiculously well, because effectively right now, Nullus gets to be on irrigation tech, whereas Rapl is going to be stuck on plow tech for a little bit longer. But Rapl is going to be able to hit that next age relatively soon, even with his plow, even with his food deficit. And he's going to be able to get himself winter harvest and irrigation here. And then it's only going to be a 10% deficit that he's facing against the Hades economy. So we do see these raiding cavalry breaking down this wall over here, as the villagers are going to be making their way over there. Scardy coming through for Rapl, as Rapl might want to attempt to hit this gold mine with some sort of frost timing attack, to hit the villagers with a frost and hit the army with a frost. Also then potentially find his way to the next age. It wouldn't be a bad idea. We do see that Rapl at this point is going to be attempting to get this town center up behind all of this, which I absolutely love. We do see the Pegasus moving across the map here. We'll see if this is going to be able to get up. He's got a fair amount of units on it, so it should shoot up very, very fast, as the raiding cavalry is still moving around the map, distracting here as best as they possibly can, as copper shields coming through, medium infantry coming through for Nullus. The big thing you can do against the Greek players, always, as any civilization not named Greek, is get early armory upgrades. The idea being that the Greek players do not want to get their armor upgrades because they might want to go through Hephaestus and find an advantage with we'll get the max amount of advantage out of Forge of Olympus. So we are seeing that happen here from Rapl as his town center comes up. The unit's pushing through here as Rapl going to try and distract even longer as he's waiting for his heroic age to come through as the army now getting in onto this position surrounding all of Nullus's units. And we do indeed see the Frost getting dropped down immediately by Rapl as the game plan is very clear. He wants to clean up the majority of these units, find himself an advantage here. We see Nullus is getting himself heavy infantry, heavy archers, and irrigation here while this is all going down. Do we see any sort of market getting dropped up? Rapl setting on this position with his medium raider going to be keeping a good eye on that. The Manticore actually coming and getting a good amount of damage done. Rapl does have some Hursa over here that he can use to take this down as we do see the Nullus Town Center is getting put up. We'll see if Rapl is going to be noticing that mid-fight here or not as the Frost Giant comes through here. It can take down that Manticore very, very easily here. And meanwhile, we see Restoration coming in very early there. An interesting decision by Nullus to utilize the Restoration early. I'm not sure if that actually makes sense or not, but he gets all of his units back up to full HP that were getting taken down. Heavy Raiders is in right now as well, as units attempting to retreat away. Meanwhile, over on this position, that town center is getting closer and closer to finishing here as a marker getting thrown down by Rapl. Winter Harvest, Irrigation, Fortified Town Centers coming in as the Raiders are going to be making a swift movement over onto this town center as Rapl wants to prevent this town center from coming up at all costs here, ladies and gentlemen. If he can prevent, obviously if he can prevent that town center from going up, Nullus is stuck on 130 population or 140 population with fortified town centers as he does start pushing through over. Heavy infantry is on the way as well for Rapl. How many military buildings right now does Rapl have? He's only got the 4 here. This market doesn't get finished as the Throw and Axeman coming over here to help out. The town center does end up getting denied as the Hoplites getting pushed back. Hephaestus is on the way right now for Nullus, so he is still on the way, teching as best as he possibly can. Rapl, on the other hand here, he can throw the market up. He's about to start going crazy on the food with all of his upgrades. As the villagers get pushed back, the army getting cleaned up on this front here. But here's the thing. Rapl, at this point, basically his best option here, most likely, is to go for an early Ragnarok of some description to try and take out this gold mine, or go for a very, very swift Fimbulwinter push to try and get control of all the gold mines and push Nullus out of the game, get himself 4 town centers to 2 town center advantage and secure this gold mine, kind of push off this gold mine or prevent this gold from getting grabbed, as we do see some longhouses getting dropped down on this position. Rapl is sitting at 160 population here as he's still preventing those villagers from sneaking through on this position. Rapl still doesn't have himself the upgrade Thundering Hooves just yet, but maybe he doesn't need it here, as Tyr is the god of choice for Rapl. He's not going to be risking the Mythic Age through Balder here in this game, as that Longhouse is going to get denied for the time being as the raiding cavalry searching around in the main base of Nullus. Nullus garrisoning his villagers here into the town center as Rapl does manage to snipe one unit. Fortified Town Centers comes in there as well as the army still pushing forward, back, doing everything they can. Watchtowers coming through. Hephaestus just about hit for Nullus, as the raiding cavalry swinging up to the top side of the map, going to look to hit those villagers on the back here. As, I mean, while I like the raids, I'm not sure it's exactly what he needs to be doing right now. I think that just putting more control onto this is the way, because here's the thing. Nullus uses this raid here to simply just walk forward and grab this town center, as the army of Rapl needs to pull all the way back home. We do see a hill fort coming up. The gate over here is going to get knocked down, but is this worth it here, as the villagers will get this town center up? The question is going to be, can Rapl push back with Fimbulwinter and take the town center back down after all is said and done, as the raiding cavalry attempting to sneak back through into this position to take down the villager off of that temple here, or grab this gold mine as well. The villager does get caught out, but the town center is up now. The hill fort now up for Rapl, as he's going to be able to start getting himself some Huskal to deal with these heavy Toxotes. And now a problem that Nullus actually had is now starting to become a problem that Rappel's going to have to deal with, which is, can he continue to hold this gold mine? Can he continue to hold this gold mine? All those gold mines are out in the middle of the map. We see Nullus now able to get himself the middle gold mine here as well. tier about to pop here as bronze mail, bronze shields, bronze weapons coming through as Nullus's Hephaestus does hit. There's the Fimbulwinter coming through, hitting this town center over here, hitting this town center over here. Lots of villagers getting picked off on this position as well as the Fimbulwinter Wolves coming in to hit Nullus's town center on this position as all of the villagers right now for Nullus basically have been hit, including this gold mine as well, with a handful of Fimbulwinter Wolves hitting this one here as Nullus retreats back here at this point. His villagers have dropped. They've tanked heaps here. They've gone from 80 down to 60 at this point as Nullus pulling these villagers off of this position here. What is the plan here for Rapl though? As the fortress is up on this gold mine. The gold mine just about finished up on that position as well. We do see some military buildings getting thrown down at the bottom of the map here for Rapl. Because Rapl at this point, he's got such an advantage here in terms of units, and economy, but Nullus here, he's going to get his upgrades. He's got plenty of resources in the bank to repopulate here. And effectively, Rapl needs to take this town center down. The question is he going to be able to do it? His units here kind of starting to pile in onto this location, hitting the villagers, slowing the economy down of Nullus as best as he possibly can. As the Throw and Axemen retreating back, they still don't have themselves that Huntress Axe here, which is such a huge assistance in these fights. Meanwhile, Hephaestus starting to come through as well. And with Hephaestus coming through, Rapl can just go straight into like mass raiding cavalry for a little bit here to cause a lot of problems as the villagers starting to make their way onto this position. More units coming in for Rapl. It feels like Rapl's army seems just that little bit... I mean, even though Rapl's at full population, it seems like Rapl's army is smaller than Nullus's. And I can't explain why that is. Obviously 20 more population in terms of economy here. But Rapl, does he have units like stuck in a town center or a Migdol or a Hillfort or a... No, they're just all kind of moving across the map trying to get involved here as Rapl has to pull back, and Nullus seems to have managed to hold on here as he's now getting himself Iron Mail through as well. Wait, was Rapl going for Fimbulwinter Wolves? Finished? No, he's not. I just don't know where the population is. It's definitely a decent idea for Rapl to get himself like mass Fenris Wolves here as well. Just completely own this army. As now Nullus pushing in onto this position. He's got a beautiful concave here as Rapl trying to get his units out to help himself. He's getting some great Jarls to help against those pacifists here as well. Champion infantry coming in as we do see the military buildings getting deleted there as the Toxotes push forward to try and take out those Throw and Axemen. Right now it's 160 population apiece here, but the armory upgrades for Nullus, they are there is such a huge advantage for Nullus in terms of armory upgrades that Rapl's units, they're basically useless here. The only real way to play around the armory upgrade deficit that you find yourself in the Norse versus Hades matchup is go straight into Ballista. Why? Ballista, they don't really care about upgrades. I don't think they even get affected by I don't think Siege get affected by any upgrades. So you're basically sitting at the max amount of damage you can get out of your Ballista nonetheless. And Rapl now pushed off the gold mine at this position here. He might get pushed off this gold mine as well. We do see some longhouses coming up on this position. Rapl could try and sneak that gold mine. It wouldn't be a bad idea to just try and run around the corner here and grab this gold mine to ensure he stays in this game here. As the hill fort going to be getting taken down. We do see the raiding cavalry trying to push onto this gold mine. Nullus here hasn't started a trade route. We do see the villagers coming in onto this corner here already as Nullus will be spotting this side build that's come up from Rapl here as villagers getting taken out over on this position. The town center over here is going to start being the target though that Rapl has to deal with as, I mean, Rapl is just spread thin. He needs upgrades. That's all you can say here is Rapl needs upgrades. There's another longhouse coming down on this position here. The Heliopolis rolling in to take the town center down as the market going to be getting cleaned up here as well. No market in the corner just yet. We do see the market coming up for Nullus here as well as the raids continuing to come in onto this position. But Nullus has defended it beautifully here. As now Rapl comes in with his champion Throw and Axeman. His Frost Giants and everything else ready to start taking this fight here as the Ulfsark have to repair this position. Bronze shields coming through, but iron weapons is in right now for Nullus. Nullus is basically fully upgraded against what Rapl has. He's only missing iron shields, which really doesn't matter against North. and he's obviously missing his champion upgrades, but those are going to be coming through very, very soon as these units just keep rolling in to help put pressure onto Rapl. Now, Rapl has got this gold mine here, but there's very little gold left in this gold mine. Nullus as well got this gold mine. He's going to be starting that trade route up. Rapl here already has the military buildings in position to start putting some pressure onto that. As walls coming up over here for Rapl to prevent Nullus from getting a solid trade route set up. Quarry, champion archers just about finished. Bronze mail coming through for Rapl. As Rapl, I think he's only got the one armory at this point. Yeah, he's only got the one armory here, so getting those units out is a little bit difficult. Nullus going to be retreating back for the time being, as it does look like Rapl's army holding here nicely now that the champion Huskarl coming in to tank all of those champion Toxotes, but the heavy not the heavy shades, well, the mythic age Hades shades coming through going to be a tough nut to crack there, as well as now Nullus has got to realize that the walls are coming up on his trade route. He needs to sort that out like ASAP, otherwise he's going to be having himself a difficult time here. He does have this gold mine over here, but with Rapl already having all these longhouses in the back corner, he can put pressure onto that nicely a little bit later in this game. As Nullus now 136 of 160 population. Quarry has come through. We do see the Heliopolis getting kind of thwarted on this position by the Frost Giants as well here. Is Rapl retreating now, going to try and put some pressure maybe onto this gold mine yet again, as the army of Nullus ready to start putting pressure through here as well. We'll see if Rapl is going to continue to be able to spend his resources, getting himself carpenters. He's got very low resources at the moment. Market up in the corner now, starting the trade route. More walls coming up here for Rapl. Exactly what he needs to do. The walls are so absurdly important for Norse. Norse's number one advantage over every other civilization is that he's got really fast moving builders in his infantry. He can make Ulfsark, which move at 5 point something speed. What is it? 5 point... I don't know, once you get Lone Wanderer, they move over 5.0 speed, which is huge because they can just get into positions, throw walls up, and it's a really, really good time as we see the Heliopolis moving back into this position as well. But the villagers get pulled, going to be taking those out very, very easily here. One of the big upgrades that Rapl is missing right now is the champion cavalry. Doesn't have it quite just yet, but he's getting himself bravery, carpenters, coinage coming through. How are the armory upgrades looking here for Rapl? He's still short on armory upgrades, so Nullus is still trading relatively well here as the Hypaspis coming in onto this position. Rapl utilizing his raiding cavalry really nicely to block those Hypaspis from getting onto the champion throwing axeman here, as Nullus still holding onto this position. More walls coming up over here as well, as it looks to me like those trade caravans have been stopped here. Nullus has moved his trade route over onto this corner here as a very, very inefficient trade route. And we'll have to wait and see how much gold he's actually going to be getting here. I mean, those dog caravans not going to be doing anything, but we'll see. As flood control signal fires, coinage coming through for Rapl. He's about to be fully upgraded. He's holding relatively nicely. Nullus is at 160 population, though. As this gold mine here has got 1,600 gold left in it. And here's the other thing. If potentially Rapl can get a hill fort up over here, he can start baluster raiding or targeting this fortified town center down with baluster if he so chooses. But the problem is his units over here just do not hold on this position that well. As the villagers do come through, they will be able to take down the Heliopolis that's remaining here. The town center is going to be able to survive here for Rapl. Rapl has only got himself masons. He doesn't quite have that architects. So the town center does go down relatively fast here. Rapl still at full population, going to be losing some villagers here. Not the biggest of deals, but he's not able to sit at full population at this point because he's still not able to trade nicely against Nullus's army here. What else is happening is the raiding cavalry searching around the map. We do see some spicy side builds coming through for Nullus to start putting some pressure, as this gold mine is just about expired here for Rapl. Now, Rapl does have this gold mine down in the corner here that is technically Nullus's, that he should be trying to get onto, but at this point, Rappel's army is just dying like flies here. It looks like Nullus is just too strong. His army is just too strong at this point. And everyone, all of the Norse fans out there can just be like, man, Norse army's so weak. But in reality here, this is just iron upgrades versus not iron upgrades. If Rapl had managed to get himself to iron shields here, and iron mail and iron weapons, he would be able to compete in these fights. But the gold villagers now finishing up on this position. Rapl has got himself 46 villagers and 12 ox caravans. Not quite enough to continue in this position, as the town center now getting absolutely murdered by Nullus. Nullus has almost got the resources as well to get himself champion pacifist. Or champion infantry, I should say. So the town center is getting torn down by the burning pitch Toxotes. As it doesn't do like a crazy amount of damage, but he will be losing that town center here as the villagers is now migrating across the map to take the town center of Rapl out here. And it seems to me that after all is said and done, Rapl will be not able to defend here. I mean, the villagers are actually getting pushed back for the time being. Rapple's at 104 of 160 population. Nullus is at 160 of 160 population. He's going to be putting some towers down on this position as well to hold on to this. One of the big advantages of Hades is his building bonus, which allows his buildings to be a little bit stronger in terms of HP and damage. So now Nullus is able to start targeting the town center down. The Frost Giant does fall over there, and it looks to me like Rapl, he just does not have the resources remaining. He's got himself 34 villagers remaining here in this game, as he has sacrificed them all in an effort to defend his town center. And after all is said and done, Nullus is 14. His 22 gold trade route is enough to keep him alive here. We also see the villagers breaking through on this location. Rapl trying to take those villagers down. I mean, like I said, this gold mine was remaining. If Rapl had moved here, he probably would be able to continue in this game, because Nullus' trade route is so bad. Even if Nullus gets this town center up, if Rapl has that gold mine, he's going to be able to trade for a little bit longer, probably take it back, as Nullus won't have a decent gold income to support like a 140 population trade here, or like army trading here. But Nullus gets the dub after all is said and done. Rapl not able to manage to hold this game. Rapl definitely had a huge advantage here in this game that he decided not to sit on. And that advantage was he had control of this town center. Complete control of this town center. There was no way for Nullus to beat Rapl's army at that point in the game. Nullus didn't have upgrades. Nullus was going Hephaestus, and Rapl just left the town center put to go for some raids onto Nullus' economy when he was about to hit tier anyways. Had Rapl just stayed on this town center, prevented Nullus from getting it, I don't think there's any world that Nullus is able to get this gold mine, and Nullus just simply would not be able to get to his late game power spike here. The other thing here is that I feel like Rapl here was taking some fights underneath town center fire, and he just was not getting the resources he needs to get his upgrades out in this game. If you take a look at the all resource total, around about, I guess, this point in the game, Rapl needs to be getting himself all of his upgrades out, or getting hill forts up to make ballista to defend his positions. But he didn't go for it. And Nullus does manage to squeeze out game number 1, a victory there. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.